Welcome to Comedy Global. I'm Anjana and let's know how Moscow could still recover from its blunders in Ukraine. Russia's struggles in Ukraine have been compared to the Soviet Union's war in Finland during World War II. The Soviets managed to gain a costly victory, according to one Russian critic of Moscow's handling of the present war. The anti-Western fury presently consuming the Russian airwaves, repulses and saddens those of us monitoring Russian media as the Russian invasion of Ukraine transforms the world order and a new Iron Curtain descends across Europe. Occasionally, however, light shines through the depths of misinformation. A heated column published by the Russian magazine Military Review on April 18 under the relatively harmless title "The Three Phases of the Winter War" served as a striking reminder that some Russian journalists retain their sophisticated reasoning and an aptitude for much needed critical thinking. On the surface, the work is only a reminder of the costly war waged by the Soviet Union against Finland during the winter of 1939-1940. However, if you read between the lines, the article amounts to a harsh condemnation of the Kremlin, and it may also provide insight into the future path of Ukraine's horrific battle. The article starts off well, illustrating that some of the same rationales that drove the Finnish War of 1939-1940 are present in Russia's current war against Ukraine. According to the author, Finland was a part of Russia prior to the revolution. Their comrades were the Finns. The author points out that quantitative military force indicators substantially favored the USSR over Finland, implying that Soviet commanders believed an invasion of Finland would be a straightforward assignment for the Red Army. Of course, no one was planning aggression. The Finns just threatened our country's second city, which, considering their long-standing relations with Germany, was worrisome, the Russian author writes. The author describes the Finnish nation in arms in a dramatic parallel to the current battle in Ukraine, was prepared to halt the Russians with their bare hands if necessary. The country was engulfed in a militaristic and insane frenzy. This last term, one assumes, is even more ironic as it purposefully replicates present Russian rhetoric while simultaneously explaining the high military morale of both the Finnish and, to a lesser extent, the Ukrainian armies. In terms of how the combat operations were carried out, this historical perspective offers a description that may easily have come from a contemporary Twitter post describing an ambush in Ukraine. We observed a horrible picture at one of the road's bends which stunned us all into deathly silence. As I recall, maybe 30 or 40 slain Red Army men were in the snow ahead of us. According to the author, another parallel between these two wars was a planned lightning onslaught from numerous vectors that looked great on paper but swiftly went off the rails after a horrific bloodbath. Moreover, he describes similar logistical and preparation challenges confronting the Red Army at the time. We took off gloves and overcoats from the dead. There were no field kitchens, they ate dry rations and lard. The author of this article, a Russian, admits the obvious when he says that Moscow overestimated its own troops while underestimating the enemy, which is a loud echo of present events. The USSR succeeded in compelling the Finns to retreat and redraw the border at a great cost in life and cash. As the author points out, the final settlement is the controversial question. Why Stalin did not go to the end has a simple answer: the occupation of Finland would have required enormous resources. In appraising the Winter War's lessons for Russia, this author emphasizes the role of both morale and logistics, but also explains the main feature of the Russian army is that we know how to learn and do it in battle, and we can admit our mistakes. Indeed, this article seems to present an example that the Russian military can, at least to some degree, discuss its errors in a relatively candid manner. In the West, the Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union is properly remembered as David's triumph over Goliath, a scenario that may be repeated in Ukraine. Specifically, the Finns were aided by almost 10,000 international volunteers who chivaled to their aid. However, a more thorough examination reveals that Russia did adjust its tactics and eventually succeeded in forcing the Finnish, who were short on soldiers and ammunition, to sign a humiliating peace settlement in March 1940, ceding over 10% of Finnish land. Given Russia's size, proximity and persistence, not to mention Moscow's control of the world's largest nuclear arsenal, the West must brace itself for an equally unsatisfactory conclusion to this terrible conflict. Even if it were distasteful, such a deal would at least stop the bloodshed and eliminate the non-negligible threat of a catastrophic Russia-NATO conflict. Despite the bellicose language, avoiding the latter consequence must remain the top concern for America's leaders. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Comment the Global.